Hello, lords and ladies of YouTube, and welcome back to Nightly Gaming's Nightly Gaming and to another episode of Hearthstone. So today I'm going to be showing you a kind of off-meta build deck that I'm trying out called Spell Shaman. The basic premise of it is getting extra spell power to do damage with spells from Shamans, because Shamans actually have a decent amount of good damage spells. Not to mention they do have the ability to get extra spell damage from their totems, so it can actually end up being quite powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the deck build now. So I have one Earthshock in there. I would like to have two, but I only have one, so that's kind of unfortunate. But it's silence a minion, then deal 1 damage to it. So you can use it to deal with characters that have really annoying spell abilities of some kind by silencing them. It can also be used as decent clear, especially when you start getting some extra spell damage up onto the board. I also have 2 Forked Lightnings, deal 2 damage to 2 random enemy minions. So this is a good way of clearing off the board when they get multiple minions on the board. The Overload 2 is kind of annoying, admittedly, as well as the fact that it's random, but it can still be, in a tight situation, a great way of clearing board. I also have 2 Frost Shocks. There's really no downside to this. 1 damage to an enemy character and freeze it for 1 mana. Decent damage, can freeze, can buy you time, and then with the additional spell damage that we're hopefully going to build up, it can actually start to clear board pretty well. We also have 2 Lightning Bolts, deal 3 damage, overload 1 for 1 mana. So it's not necessarily limited to a minion, so you can use it to finish off game by hitting face. You can use it to wipe out decent sized minions, turn 3s, maybe even turn 4s, things like that. So it can be kind of useful, but it's mostly you want to build up that spell damage and then use this to do something like hit face or something along those lines. Crackle, same kind of general idea. It's 2 cost, but it has the potential to do up to 6 damage rather than just 3. It does a minimum of 3 up to 6. So the little bit of that random chance there isn't good, but when it does do that 6 damage, it's very nice. So that can be used to wipe out bigger minions off the field, or once again be saved to hit face with. Lava Shock, deal 2 damage and unlock your overloaded mana crystals. So this is very good, because we do have quite a few overload spells. Almost all of the spells have overload on them, so we could end up potentially having a lot of overloaded mana crystals in the following turn, and we could follow this up, follow that up with Lava Shock to clear out all those mana crystals, and then also do some decent damage, either to clear board or once again save to hit face when we build up some creatures on board with spell damage. So then it comes to our first actual minion of the game, is Blood Mage Thalnos. Legendary 2/1/1, spell damage plus 1 death rattle, draw a card. So that draw is really nice. We don't have a ton of draw in this deck, so that little bit of draw does help, plus the spell damage, and it's a relatively cheap minion that they don't usually want to throw anything into, because it's a 1/1, it's not really that big of a deal, and then if they throw something into it, I also get a draw, so it makes them a little bit more hesitant to hit it, but that spell damage plus 1 is going to be useful to me, so it's going to make it to where they're going to have to throw something at it. Next up is the Kobold Geomancer. It's a 2/2/2 with spell damage plus 1. Once again, more spell damage, cheap body to throw on field, can be comboed with spells, as well as a few other cards thrown in there as well, so that's just a nice mark. Totem Golem, I have 2 Totem Golems in here. Overload 1, it's a 2/3/4, just a really strong card, because while yes, the point of this deck is more so for spell damage, you do need at least a couple things on here that are just good minions overall, which is also why we have the Whirling Zap-O-Matic. Both the Totem Golem and the Whirling Zap-O-Matic, strong cards. Whirling Zap-O-Matic is a 2/3/2 with Wind Fury, so he can attack twice. Having them on the board is going to draw out their minions to attack, and then possibly trade into these guys, as well as wasting spells on them, so they can't do it to my spell damage creatures, so that way I can continue to throw powerful spells at their face, and or onto their minions. I also have 1 Farsight, draw a card. That card costs 3 less, this one costs 3 mana. I just like this card. It's a good way of drawing again, which is important in this deck. Not a ton of draw. It's just a single draw for using up one card. But that card does also cost 3 less, so that could be nice if I get something on like my Malagos. But it's just a nice card to have overall. So I have only one of those in the deck. I also have one Feral Spirit, which is summon 2/3 Spirit Wolves with Taunt. It's a 3-cost, overload 2. So this is just more or less to put some decent bodies on the field that have Taunt to buy some time, as well as protect my my spell damage creatures from them attacking them. I also have 2 Hex, deals with large minions, really irritating ability minions, things like that, so that way I don't have to deal with them. I just turn into a 0/1 frog with Taunt. So I have 2 of those. I also have 2 Lava Burst, deal 5 damage, overload 2, 3 mana cost. This is our big hitter, because think of it this way: if you have Malagos on the field, each one of these Lava Bursts is automatically doing 10 damage each. So I could follow up a turn with Malagos, and then the very next turn, if I have double Lava Burst, that's 20 damage right there. That's very likely to finish game. So that can just be a very powerful card overall. But it can also be used to wipe out higher level minions, things like a Sludge Belcher, which is a really irritating taunt to get through. So that can be nice there. I also have 1 Lightning Storm in here. Once again, I would probably like to have 2 Lightning Storms. It's my most reliable wave clear, but I only own 1. Deal 2 to 3 damage to all enemy minions with an overload 2 for a 3 cost. So it's like a Consecrate, but potentially slightly better in terms of damage, but with that overload cost. It's pretty much it's not the greatest of cards, admittedly, but it is a reliable wave clear that when you add additional spell damage to it, it is going to start doing extra damage, and it's a lot less random than a lot of the other spells. It's only a 2 to 3 damage, so there's only a 1 damage variant in there, so it's not bad by any means. I also have 1 Arcane Nullifier in here. It's nice to have that larger taunt on the field that also can't be targeted by spells of hero power, so it can't be eliminated by any of their spells, so they have to actually throw some stuff into it rather than attacking my face or my my spell damage minions, so it kind of can help slow down the pace of their deck. Give me time to recover. So I also have 2 Azure Drake, spell damage +1, battle cry, draw a card. So there's that other little bit of draw I have in this deck. It's a 5/4/4, which is an okay body. But it's mostly that spell damage and draw. It's just all around good for this deck, and it's an all around good card in general in almost any deck. I also have 1 Loatheb, battle cry, enemy spells cost 5 more next turn with a 5/5/5 body. Good, decent enough stats with a great effect. It makes it to where what could have been, a chance for them to flame strike and wipe out my entire field, now they have to wait a turn and I get to attack their face, keep that spell damage alive long enough to use some of my spells and make them really powerful, potentially win game off of that. And then finally I have 1 Malagos, 9/4/12, big old dragon with spell damage +5. So if I can get this on the field and keep it alive long enough that I can follow it up with some spells, those spells are going to hurt. I don't care if I have no other spell damage on the field. 1 Malagos is worth 5 other spell damage creatures. It is going to hurt so badly if I can play Malagos and follow up with like 2 Lava Bursts or things like that. It will be absolutely insane. So it's just nice to have in the deck. It's a pretty big body to get through. They want to get through it because usually by the time I play Malagos, they've figured out that I'm doing spell damage, so they will want to get rid of it. They will focus stuff on it. It can either buy some time for me or let me finish the game. So just a nice card in this deck overall. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into some games and see how it goes. Okay, so a mage could potentially be irritating in this deck, but it depends on whether or not they're a mech mage or not. So I'm going to put Malagos back. It's just too high of a spell cost to keep, but Frost Shock and Whirling Zap-O-Matic are actually great starts. Forked Lightning isn't a bad card either. So the mana curve on this deck is very low. It's primarily a bunch of 2-cost cards. I think there's like 11 2-cost cards with a bunch of 1s and some 3s and 4s and things like that, and going upwards. Let's see, how do I want to deal with that? Because that can get annoying really quickly. I could freeze it. I could put out Whirling Zaphomatic, but he's just going to... he's probably just going to be able to kill that with a spell, so I'm going to go ahead and just put out Totem, see what I get. Taunt, that's not bad. Slows him down a little tiny bit. Next turn I could always potentially Lightning Storm, which could wipe them out. Might not. That's the downside to a lot of these, is the fact that there's no guarantee on whether or not it will kill them. I could also... well... no, I'll go ahead and Lightning Storm. It seems like our best option here. Hope it at least kills one. Oh, or it can kill both. I can get lucky that way. So like I said, it's nice to have that one damage variation, so there's not a ton of risk to it. There's a little bit, but it's basically a 50-50 chance. So it does overload it to where I only have 2, but... the question is that a mirror entity? Or is that something else? It could be a counter spell, it could be Ice Barrier or Ice Block, it could be Vaporize, I don't know. So, okay, that's nice. Spell damage totem, that's actually not bad at all. Start building up some of that additional spell damage onto the field. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We could go Totem Golem, Whirling Zaphomatic, and then Frost Shock that to get rid of its Divine Shield, but I don't really want to do that to get rid of its Divine Shield. I could also Hex it. The question is whether or not I think that they're going to have anything else super big that I want to save my Hex for. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Totem Golem. I'm going to go ahead and hex it. I'm going to hex the... okay. So we'll do that. And kill the Totem Golem. Okay. That should be fine. You know, I've overloaded 3 crystals, but that's fine. Not the end of the world. I'll still have 3 mana next turn, which allows me to either hex someone or at the very least play Whirling Zaphomatic or something. What to do? So we can kill that, so that's nice. Do I want to put out Whirling Zaphomatic, or do I want to Totem? Because if that's another mirror entity, I don't have a way of dealing with it this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and just Totem. See how this goes. So he might just Hero Power the Totem. And Frostbolts, of course. That will kill my Totem Golem, and let's see, yeah, he's just Hero Powering the Totem. So that way, there's no way of me getting anything. So I'm going to go ahead and put down the Arcane Nullifier, and that way, well, no, because, dang it, I can't target that with spells if that's a mirror entity. Actually, this is what I'll do. I will put down Kobold Geomancer. And my guess is yep, okay. So then I can use Fork Lightning to kill both of them. And then I can put down my Arcane Nullifier. So we get rid of the mirror entity, and we're able to use that to our advantage to be able to wipe out his Fairy Dragon. That normally can't be targeted by spells, but can be hit by spells that target random stuff. The Silence, of course. Okay, so we know that's not another mirror entity. So the question is what is that? Okay, what do I want to do here? Go ahead and throw that into him. I will summon the Whirling Zaphomatic. Let's see what spell that is. Okay, I'm guessing either Counterspell or Ice Block then. Based on how that went. Which makes me a little hesitant. Because if it's a Counterspell, that's really bad for me, actually. Because each one of my spells is... okay. Let's see, how do we want to deal with this? Okay, so we'll just throw these at those. Double hit him in the face with this. Blood Mage Thanos. And Totemic Might. I mean, I could throw this at his face, but I don't know if that's a counterspell or not yet. And if it's a counterspell, I would be very unhappy to waste that. So I'm going to go ahead and hold on to it. We'll just see how it goes. So, yeah, he kills the Whirling Zaphomatic, but I already got 6 damage out of it, so I'm happy with that. Okay. The question is that a counter spell? Well, let's find out. Because if this doesn't work, I can kill him with other things. Yep, okay, it's a counter spell. I figured as much. Alright. So then we'll just kill him with that. And attack face. Oh, that has 0 attack. I can attack face with that. Ooh. Do I want to use this now? So I know he has no counter spell. And he might potentially have a way of killing, because I currently have +3 spell damage. You know what? Why not? I'll go ahead and use it, because I already blocked up 2 mana crystals, so I definitely won't be able to Malygos next turn. Even if I draw it, so that's not the end of the world. And I'd rather use it when I have some at least +3 spell damage. That's really nice. So yeah, even with that, if he draws a Flame Strike, he'll still be able to use it. He still has 7 mana. Okay. Okay, so yeah, he's trying to clear out my spell damage right now. But let's see here. Let's see what totem I get. Healing totem. Okay. So I could use this and get him down to 2 health, but I'm not sure that's worth it. He's going to wipe out this, which will get rid of 1 spell damage, but really all I'm getting out of this right now is 1 additional spell damage. That's not really worth it to me. I'd rather save that, because that can actually be comboed with Malygos since it's only 1 cost. So I could play that and Malygos in the same turn. There's not really any reason for me not to. Well, unless I get Malygos this turn, because I overloaded 1 mana crystal with the Totem Golem. But it actually doesn't matter, because he left my spell damage up, so I can just finish him off. Well played. Yeah, so that one actually went quite well. I feel like if that was a mech mage, I would have gone much worse, because the aggro I think would have just overwhelmed me. But yeah, no, that went okay. Alright, let's do another game then. Okay. Warrior, that actually might not be too bad. Let's see, the starting hand. So I liked the Fork Lightning start. I like both of these. And Feral Sphere could be good if he starts overwhelming me early. And or if I don't get anything else for a good turn 3. So I guess I can go ahead and go with that. That's fine. I'm okay with that. You know what? With that second Whirling Zap-O-Matic, I am going to coin Zap-O-Matic first turn. See if he has anything to kill it first turn. Because yeah, now turn 2 I can put out my other Whirling Zap-O-Matic and still get up to turn 3 to use that, so I don't have to worry about... Okay, so he's going to get 2 draws off of that and get to kill my Whirling Zap-O-Matic if I decide to attack that. The question is do I attack that, or do I go face? I feel like going face might not be a bad option. You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and do Totem Golem in case he has Cleave, where he gets to double attack me. Because otherwise he'd just kill both of them. This way he'll only at most be able to do 2 damage to my Totem Golem, so that way I'll have at least 1 left on the field. Okay. That is mildly annoying, but not too bad. How do I want to deal with this? Okay, so throw him at that. We'll summon my other Whirling Zap-O-Matic. Hit him once in the face with that, and then also kill his Armor Smith with 1. And just trade it. Because with 1 health, there's just too many ways of wiping him out. Whirlwind or anything would just wipe him out. Oh, that's annoying. Let's see. Does he have a way of dealing with Totem Golem? I wouldn't think so. Ah. That's a good way of dealing with him. Don't really want Feral Spirit this turn, because then I won't be able to Zero Drake next turn. But then again, he would just use Death Bite on it anyways. So that might be the better option. Trade that into that. And I guess I'll go ahead and Feral Spirit. It's gonna mess up with my curve a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. So we will find out how this goes. Oh boy. Okay. So that's annoying. So he gets a draw. He's going to kill both of my guys with that. And that Amani Berserker is going to be strong. Really strong. I'll just kill it with Lightning Bolt, I guess. So let's see what totem I get. Oh, that's nice. Unnecessary, but nice. Well, unnecessary for this turn. If he leaves it alive, then that would be kind of actually extra nice. But we will see.
Pass me that arc-light spanner.
So this seems like a pretty straightforward, just control warrior. Okay. What do we want to do here? We'll just Zero Drake, get a draw. Body on the field that he can't kill with 1 shot from his Fiery War Axe. He's going to at least have to attack with both, or use something else from his hand. So if he attacks with the Gnomish Inventor, that's nice. It clears it off the board.
Back to work.
Okay. That's fine. At least the Gnomish Inventor doesn't get the +2. Oh yeah. He should have hit it with the axe first. Instead he gave it the extra damage. Oh man, I hate it when I have those moments. Okay, let's see. What am I going to do? So I could Azure Drake double fork. No, I can't double fork lightning because the Cruel Taskmaster's master is going to die. I could risk, luck of the draw, totem call for a spell totem, and then lightning storm. That might kill the Gnomish Inventor. But I don't feel like that's the best option. I feel like best option is probably Azure Drake, forked lightning. No, actually, hold on. I'm going to 2, 4, 5. I'm gonna go with Totem as well. My Totem Summon and my Totem Golem, and then just Fork Lightning them. Plus, if that had been a spell totem, I would have Lightning Stormed, but it wasn't, so. Let's see. If he plays anything else, also, I could always Lightning Storm, which would guarantee kill the Gnomish Inventor, as well as probably wipe something off of his board. Oh, okay. So that's a maybe kill. That's less than ideal. Oh, man, that's not good. That is suddenly a very strong Amani Berserker. Let's see if Lightning Storm kills it, and then if not, I can always Earth Shock it. It's locking up a lot of my mana next turn, but it's not the end of the world. And okay, and it wiped out everything, so it doesn't matter. So Totem, yay. Plus now he's just top decking, so that's fine. Alright, let's see here. So then this turn we'll, as your Drake, Totem. And attack him. Ooh. That will be nice. Plus next turn I can Malagos and Frost Shock him in face with the additional 2 spell damage on top of that. That's going to hurt. Alright, so Malagos. And then yeah, we'll Frost Shock face. We'll let him have the draw with that. And then him. The Totem. Alright, let's see if he has any way of answering, because if not, I'm just gonna Lava Shock him in face next turn and I win. He has to kill Malagos to win. There's just no other way for him to win here. Yeah, so he lost. Oh, never mind. Okay, that's annoying. Let's see, do I have anything else here? So I can do 4, 8. I can do 8 damage.
Well played.
What do I want to do?
What to do?
So we'll summon Loatheb to make sure he can't do anything else next turn. We will... Definitely gonna hit face with him at some point. The question is, what do I want to do?
There's little time.
Okay, we'll Totem. We'll go ahead and just hex him. There's no real reason not to. At least I don't think there is. Hopefully there's not. Because even if you put something else big and intimidating in it, I can Earth Shock. Oh god, what is that? Okay, that's an execute. That's annoying. But he loses, so it doesn't matter. So, well played. Yeah, no, this deck actually seemed to do pretty well. Has a lot of board control, while also having quite a bit of ways of doing damage to face. I feel like there's a few decks that might be able to beat it. Aggro decks probably would do really well against it, as well as decks that focus a lot on being able to kill Malagos in one turn. But the thing is, as you even saw, he killed Malagos in one turn, and it didn't really matter because you can. I have a lot of spells I can combo with Malagos in exchange for Overload, which is actually really good. It makes Malagos a lot more effective in this deck than in a lot of other decks I have seen. But if you guys have any ideas on how to deal with maybe dealing with aggro decks with a modified version of this, or anything else, just let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any suggestions on how to change the deck, let me know. Otherwise, if you want to see more of my videos, check out my channel. I do Hearthstone every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to see them on a regular basis, as well as the videos I do every day, click the subscribe button. I do one video every day. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.